This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net. And today I have on the group Indigo. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I haven't had time to listen to you yet. So when this is over, I promise you I will, because my next show has been postponed till tomorrow. But I have 4 lovely looking gentlemen, or handsome gentlemen,
Thank you.
Online with me. And Colby, let's start with you. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and how you got into the group.
Yeah, my name is Colby Wilson. I play acoustic guitar and co-lead singer. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and me and Tanner down there, we've been best friends, since we were like 7 years old, and we've always been making music together. So to finally be able to do it with Chase and Zach has just been really cool for us.
Okay, and Tanner, now we know that you're Colby's childhood friend. Tell us a little bit more. Oh, I think he froze on us.
I think he's standing very still.
There we go.
We see a shirt. That's good looking.
Hey, I'll go ahead and introduce myself.
Go ahead.
I'm Chase. I play bass. Me and Zach and Tanner are in Nashville, Tennessee. And beside me we have.
Yeah, I'm Zach Quarter. I play drums. We all me, Tanner, and Chase all got together in college at Mississippi State and started a couple really fun bands there. And then, Tanner and Colby, being childhood best friends, kind of tied us into this new project.
Okay. And Tanner, are you all situated now?
Yeah, sorry. I think I was a little too far away from the Wi-Fi. I couldn't hear anything.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Tanner Gray. I am the electric guitar player and co-lead singer for the Indigo. I don't know how much has already been hit on, but the way I got in the band is really a long story. But me and Colby have been friends since childhood and played and written music together for a long time. Me and Chase and Zach have been friends since college and have played and written a lot of music together as well. And so it just kind of came together last year, the two worlds collided.
So you all sort of collided before COVID collided with our lives. So what's that been like for a group? Because, there's not a place to really go play right now, at least not up in Ohio and some of the other states. What's it like where you're all located?
Live music is pretty much the same. I mean, there's, little live streams and little small music festivals that we've gotten involved with. But I think the coolest part of it, personally, because it did happen so early into the process, it kind of just gave us time to be able to record and have the people available that we actually wanted to work with to be able to coordinate with that. And so we just had a lot of time to record. So it was a blessing and a curse in both ways, but I'm glad, we've got the album ready now.
So,
yeah, agreed.
Now you guys just released something within the last couple of weeks. Who wants to tell me what you released?
I'll tell you.
Go right ahead.
So we've actually released 2 things. Like Colby said, the quarantine was good and bad in different ways, and it was good in the way that we got to record a full album. So we released our first single at the beginning of September, which is called The Way You Say No, and then we just released our second single on October 15th called Dizzy. So those are the 2 things that are out for the world to hear right now.
And you have something else coming out at the end of November, early December?
Yes, we have our third single coming out at the beginning of December, and then we have one more in February, and then our full album will be out in March of next year.
How terrific. So prior to all of you getting together about a year ago, were you all in separate bands? Were you doing other things in life? What was going on?
Yeah.
I would say, living in Nashville, there's just so many great musicians, and there's always, before COVID, there was just so many opportunities to get on stage and play. So I've been playing bass in a number of bands, kind of through the years, and I feel like Zach is the exact same way, living in Nashville. Playing drums and bass, keeping the rhythm section tight.
Yeah, up until about a year and a half ago, Tanner and I were down in Destin, Florida, playing in like a little fun jam band down there. And Colby had his thing going on in Birmingham with Smoking and the Bandit. I'll let him tell you about that.
Yeah, we were Smoking with the Bandit. It was fun, but I don't think it's comparable music to what we have going now. It's really just everything just kind of came together. It's weird how it came together, because usually it takes some time to, get used to each other and do this, but, they had built the chemistry together, and me and Tanner had the chemistry on the songs. So when we actually came together, it was like cooking a beautiful steak. You flip it once, boom, ready to go. Everybody loves it. So yeah, that was really cool.
Beautiful.
I like that analogy. And now I'm hungry.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, we took all the best parts of all our bands and put them into one, basically.
Absolutely. We had me and Zach particularly had talked about a dream team, which we're actually missing one member right now of that dream team. But these 4 people right here were all part of the idea. And so it's fun to have brought everybody together, especially like you said, everybody was doing separate things. Me and Zach were in a band together. Chase was playing in a band. Colby was in a different band. And then it all just kind of fizzled and came together at the same time.
And that's exciting about what I'm learning about groups that are coming together today. It wasn't like that in the past. When I say past, I'm talking about when I was growing up in the 50s and 60s. A group formed and they stayed together, and occasionally they would replace a person, either as that person went on to something else. But it's interesting how you all came from different areas. You sort of knew each other, and now you're blending your talents together. So give me a little idea, when we come to listen to your music and stream it, or we come to see you in person, what kind of music are we going to be hearing? Is it going to be country because you're in Nashville, or is it a little bit of everything?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Not so much. I think we have maybe one song on the album that kind of, it has those roots, has those certain chordings that you'd be familiar with in country. But a lot of it is, a lot of the music comes from Tanner's guitar sounds, which, he lived down at the beach, it seemed like, for 3 decades. But, he developed this cool little, beachy style kind of, sounds like waves almost. And then, I'm on acoustic, so I can't do too much, but, just play the chords. And then when Chase and Zach add, Chase's thick bass line, Zach's, dirty little drum beats, it's a smorgasbord of a bunch of cool stuff. And you said you're from the 50s and 60s. We love that music, obviously. Obviously the Beatles, Beach Boys, things like that. So we've always been interested in just not being pigeonholed into one kind of deal. I mean, the songs do have similar elements to them overall, but it's a vast, diverse spread of all different kinds.
Yeah, I think it's a
great.
unique blend of styles, just the 4 of us and our music tastes. But it's definitely rock, maybe indie or alternative rock. There's a little country twang in there, a little beachy style. It's interesting for sure.
So there's a little for all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Genres are hard nowadays. It's there's so many genres that have formed into a way where there's so many elements in different bands, and within bands there's so many different elements in different songs.
Absolutely.
And so we try to really channel into that. And right now it's definitely an alternative rock, indie rock kind of sound, but I think moving forward, you'll see that there's a lot more than PTI, and we'll probably have a lot more sounds coming out as we develop.
So is all your music original, or are you doing cover band work as well?
It's all original.
All original. That is terrific. So who's the main writer? Do we have one person who's the main writer here?
Well, right now for this album, me and Colby were the main writers. And so since, being friends for so long, we had this songwriting chemistry because we used to write songs in high school, and they were terrible. I mean, these songs were so bad. Like, we would sit in Spanish class and write songs about wanting to not be in Spanish class.
Love it.
But from there, we really did get a chemistry for songwriting, and talking, referencing the fact how everything just came together. I was living down in Florida with Zach in the band together. I left Florida and moved to Birmingham, where Colby was. And for the year, I lived there for 1 year. And for the year that I lived in Birmingham, me and Colby wrote a majority of this whole album, and then presented it to Chase and Zach, where we added on more songs later. So for this album, it started with me and Colby mostly. And then Zach and Chase would bring in their parts as well.
So as our listeners, hear this podcast, they're looking at the four of you, and you've been musicians for a long time. And they're probably thinking, wow, I can break into this because, I can write a song, or I can play a guitar, or, I'm good on the drums. What's it really like breaking into the business?
I think we're still trying to find out a lot of those answers.
Yeah.
I would say
We'll let you know when we find out.
yeah, I would say to this point, we've caught a lot of breaks. Specifically, the guy that that produced and recorded our record, his name's Toby Holbert. He worked at Abbey Road and had been working in Nashville with Dave Cobb at RCA. And he was kind of at a point in his career where he wanted to kind of branch off and go on his own and, try some solo producing. And, just sheer luck, he found us and really grabbed onto us. And I think the success of the band was just really skyrocketed through that, and just how great the record turned out. So having a good team around you has definitely been the secret sauce that we have found in breaking into the music industry.
Well, and I'm glad you said that, because about 10, 15 years ago, my son was very active in music, especially in high school. And he thought this is what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. He wanted to be a performer. And my brother happens to be a music producer, and he basically talked him out of it. He went and spent some time with his uncle, and he did some recording and did some writing. But then he saw all the other work that he had to do to get people to really listen to it. So how long did it take for you guys to get a following? I mean, I know you came from different bands. Okay. Did your followers follow you to Indigo, or was that like a brand new startup for you?
It was definitely a start from scratch type deal, especially with COVID going on and not being able to play shows. It's really changed the game. Social media has taken over a large portion of marketing. And so everything has come from our friends, and then from their friends, and then from their friends. So it's like you get these levels of separation from the band, and just keep getting organic followers that way, and fans on Spotify and all of that good stuff.
Anybody else want to add to that? So are you all surviving COVID despite the numbers growing again? Do you see things making a change maybe down in Tennessee at all?
I've seen, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a spike. I know that my roommate had COVID last week, and I've tested negative twice, which is great. But, there has definitely been a spike. But at the same time, you see a lot of people adapting. There's a lot of great music venues in Nashville that have adapted to COVID and are now having shows that are outside, socially distanced, with masks. There's a great venue called The Basement, and they're starting to have shows regularly now. It was just with taking precautions.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, everything's just very ambiguous. It's hard to know what's going to happen,
Yeah, because I know there are a couple areas here in Cleveland where um, the performers are in the facility, but then they are streaming it live. So they're still not bringing, the audience inside, but it still is a live venue event. And I know that's helping quite a bit. But I know it's also different because you sort of need that response from your audience when you're performing.
Yeah, it's really strange, like watching live streams and just seeing someone play a song and then they end it, and that's it. And you just watch it from YouTube or whatever, and you're like, all right, that was.
Send your virtual clap.
There's nothing visceral there to like bring you, to like clap or be like, I couldn't imagine doing that. That's really strange.
Zach, you have something to say there? Were you going to?
I was saying you send your virtual applause when it's a live stream, but it's just different in that way.
Right, absolutely.
It is.
Well, I want to tell you, Zach, I finally learned after 3 years doing these podcasts, I was told by a drummer that he didn't like being called a drummer. He prefers being called a percussionist because there are so many different sounds that can be made. It's not just hitting a drum.
Okay.
Do you feel the same way?
I actually prefer the name drummer.
Okay.
I think it sounds cooler.
Zach is also
either one will do.
Either one will do. What did you say, Tanner?
Zach is also a very accomplished glockenspiel player.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Tracked on the record, yeah.
Yeah, one song, 3 notes. Yeah, we recorded the album in Muscle Shoals at East Avalon, and the guy that owned the studio had a key to Fame Studio in Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
And so, which is where so many great artists in the 50s and 60s recorded. And so anyway, we got in there at like 11:30 at night and just kind of messing around and checking everything out. And we found this glockenspiel. We were like, ooh, we need to put this on the record. And so we took it. We brought it back though.
Oh, well, that was good. Especially now that you're admitting that you took it. I'm glad you took it back. So So when this album comes out in 2021, I'm assuming your hope is that you're going to be able to get out there and perform in front of all of us, correct?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think most of the music industry is hoping this summer that it'll be a different world.
Well, we certainly hope so. I know I was part of the drive-in concerts here in the Cleveland area. We had them in various parking lots, around the city. And it really worked out well. And people sort of enjoyed the fact that they could just relax in their car and hear live music. So I think you're all right. It is changing. We're all going to have to adapt to it. And what I'm going to have to do when we complete this is listen to your music. And again, I apologize that I hadn't prior to today. But usually I have a whole list of music I'm supposed to be listening to. And I decided over the last couple of days that my attention could only go to the election. So now that I can't do any more for the election, I think it's time for me to listen to your music. So what do you recommend I listen to first?
Oof. I think maybe the way that we did, if you listen to The Way You Say No first, because, Dizzy comes off like more of an abrasive, really good, super, super sweet, chorus when you get there. I don't want to scare you off though immediately. You've got to bring you in very softly first. But yeah,
Definitely.
I think they're both, killer tracks, man. And I really like, Dizzy was cool because we were releasing that, right before Halloween, and it's got that like spooky kind of deal to it. So it might be out of season for you now. I don't know. You might not feel the same. But
True.
Yeah.
The album.
I was gonna say you can follow us on our Instagram to check out this character that we created for our single Dizzy. We call him the Indigo.
I love that.
But it's he's pretty cool. He skateboards. He drinks out of red Solo cups.
Yeah, he's got glasses.
He's got sunglasses on.
His
But anyway, our
identity will be mysterious.
yeah, our Instagram is _Indigo_music_.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure that we put that in the description of today's podcast. I'm so glad that we were able to all get together. We just started doing all of our podcasts in Zoom because we think that it's only fair to our audience to have another way of connecting. And hopefully, somebody's going to find you out there and say, hey, I remember that guy. I went to school with him.
That'd be cool.
So
Yeah.
I want to wish you all well. And when you come to Cleveland to perform, let us know. And we'll make sure we fill the house for you, okay?
Of course.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you very much.
have a great day, everybody. Take care.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye.
See ya.